This is a success story of one small community, but it could be anywhere. It could be your town. Nestled at the entrance of the Birds of Prey National Preservation Area on the edge of the southwest Idaho desert is the small farming community of Kuna, Idaho. It's a good deal like many other small towns in America. There are 5 schools, 7 churches, a park in the center of town, and a main street about 5 blocks long. Let us take you back just 2 years in the city of Kuna. Like many other rural communities in America, Kuna was sharing a common problem. The farms were disappearing. They were being replaced by rural subdivisions. The agricultural base of the community was changing. Some of the stores that once had supplied the farmers' needs had to close their doors. Many of the businesses in town had stood empty for a long time. People of the community were concerned and went looking for ways to solve their problems. One solution was found in a local resource. Dorothy Whitmire, a part-time planner for the city. Dorothy, how did you hear about this program on trees?
Well, the mayor sent me to a meeting. It was sponsored by the 1990 Farm Bill and the SBA, and that's the Small Business Administration. And at this meeting, they gave us a lot of facts on trees. One of those facts that they brought out was that 1 million trees would do away with or sequester about 18 million tons of carbon. And I was very, very impressed with that fact. And I thought, gee, if 1 million trees can do that, I know Kuna can't plant that many, but we could sure, you know, plant a few anyway to help this situation. But really, as the program went on at this meeting, they told us some things that I hadn't heard before. I didn't realize that if you plant trees, it's going to stimulate the economy. That where you plant trees, people go and shop where there are trees. And that this would help our town. That it could lower light bills and heating bills costs, that it would stimulate growth. These were important facts to my town. And so I wanted to get with this program and take it back to Kuna, because I knew we wouldn't only be helping the world, but we would be helping my town. We'd be helping Kuna.
How did you get the program started?
Well, I know that anytime you go anywhere and you want to get something done, you go to the shakers and doers, as I call them. Ask the busiest people in town. You know, they're the people that are going to do this. And so what I did is I went to the people that I knew. The people that I knew were really busy and doing everything in town. You know, they were the ones who would do the work. I knew it. So I got on the phone and I called about 5 or 6 of those. And I got them together and I said, hey, what if we could plant trees here in Kuna? What would it do for us? And I told them the things I'd learned at this meeting. And I said, if we can do this, would you help me do it? And they said, well, sure, I'd help you. So we formed a tree committee. From that tree committee, we knew it'd be an uphill battle to get things through the city council and places like that, because that's hard to do. Anywhere you go, I don't care what you do, it's hard to get things through a city council. So we got a plan. We made a tree plan. And we devised a plan where we would plant 500 trees over the next 5 years in the city of Kuna. And then, because we knew 5 people don't make much of an impression when you go to a city council meeting or any place before the public, you want a lot of people. We took this then and we went to the Chamber of Commerce. And with the Chamber of Commerce behind us, and they were all behind us, the businessmen of that town said, hey, this is great. We need to increase our business. Sure, we'll help you. So we got the chamber behind us, and with our plan in hand, we went to the city council then, and we said, would you help us if we could get a grant, a small amount of money to put trees in Kuna? Could you help us? Would you put in an ordinance and help us do these things? They said, sure, we'd be glad to. So we had already accomplished the hardest part of doing this.
But this was such a big project, Dorothy. How did you get so many people involved?
Well, people care. People come out of the woodwork to plant trees. You can't imagine. All you have to say is trees and people are there. People care about their environment. They care about their quality of life. They want to improve it. Even if it's good, and Kuna was good before the trees, but it's better now. It just is something that people are willing to do. And so we went out and we tried to get volunteers, because part of this SBA program, you have to get matching funds. And that means that you have to get things from people, because cities don't have money to put out for these kinds of things. You need to go out and find other ways that you can do this. So we got volunteers. We got people to come in that would do things like dig water lines. They'd install pipes. We needed tree boxes planted. So we wanted to plant one tree in one box in 10 different boxes up the street. Well, I knew that a lumber company couldn't afford to give us 10 redwood boxes to plant trees in. So we went to 10 lumber companies and we asked each one to donate one box, and they did. We had no problems with that. We contacted our local cable company, and the cable company offered to come out and do the trenching to put our water lines in. We had people from all over the town, scouts and churches, all kinds of organizations there willing to help.
What results have you observed from this project, Dorothy?
Well, I think the biggest change I have seen in Kuna is the downtown core area from this, the real true results. When we started this project, there was 5 empty buildings on Main Street. It looked like the town was abandoned. Within probably 3 months' time from the time that we planted those trees, you could see the business owners. They were painting the fronts of their stores. They were putting up flower boxes. All 5 empty buildings were filled. The town now doesn't have, well, it has 1 empty building left, but all the rest are filled and they're thriving. And what's more, a new business was established because of this. A nursery came to town. And now a quarter block of our city has beautiful landscaping all over it because a nurseryman came in. And he has his wares there. So we've not only improved the economy of the people who were there, but also brought a new business into town because of this.
Greg Nelson has been the mayor of Kuna for 9 years. All of the urban forestry improvements have happened during his administration. We asked him to tell us how this has helped his town.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Kuna is a small town, and certainly rural development and retaining business and attracting business is extremely important to us. So we adopted their urban forestry development to improve the city, to improve it the way it looked, to improve commerce in it, and it's worked like a charm. Our businessmen are happy. We're doing more business, more commerce. Our city is happy. It's very pleased. As a matter of fact, the growth rate in Kuna is astounding. We've had to put a moratorium on growth because of all the people that want to move into town. We're a good-looking city. That's what our intention was in developing this, and it's worked very well, not only for commerce, but for just city pride and improvement.
But hasn't this tree program cost taxpayers a lot of money?
It hasn't cost our taxpayers that much. We're a small town. We've not raised any taxes for 9 years, or the whole period of time that I've been the mayor. And what we've done is had we had a small grant from Department of Lands, Urban Forestry, for buying the trees. We turned out the entire community to plant, to take care of our trees. We involved our youth in projects, and we brought on a very large project for a very minimal amount of dollars.
The city passed a tree ordinance. Can you explain why?
Well, after we've got this much investment into our trees, and it is a sizable investment, each of those trees is at least $200, and some up to, if you took the total amount that's invested in them with time and love, could be considerably more than that. And so we passed this to protect our trees and to protect the investment. And this only makes good business for, if we're going to put this kind of money and effort into a project, we want that for future generations. So we have a tree ordinance, yes, and it protects our investment, and our people are insistent that we do have it.
Let's take a look at what a town with a population of 1,955 people can do. The local newspaper helped to support the project. To protect the volunteers, permission was given to block the main street. Volunteers came in all shapes and sizes to do many jobs. Nurserymen did the actual planting of the trees. There was plenty of finish work for everyone to do. The first trees were planted in November. Volunteers tied big red ribbons with their names on them to the trees. The ribbons were left up to decorate the town for Christmas. Over 100 high school seniors gave up the first day of spring vacation to help prepare the greenbelt for planting.
I forgot to give you some more dirt down there. Hi, Mom, we're number one.
Local merchants prepared food for the volunteers.
I think they will appreciate what we've done. Totally.
City crews dug the tree planting holes and installed water lines. Once again, trees were planted by the nursery and more volunteers came to do the finish work. Arbor Day is an annual celebration now in Kuna. A training session is held in the morning to teach how to care for the trees. In the afternoon, many people take part in the celebration. The mayor gives a proclamation. Youth groups participate.
Okay, we have the heartwood. The heartwood. And the root. And the xylem. And the cambium. And the phloem. Going and the bark. Louder. Thank you, everyone in our tree.
The Kuna Chamber of Commerce gives out Spring Beautification Awards to homeowners with the most improved landscape. Kuna has agreed to spend a minimum of $2 for each person toward tree projects each year. For these efforts, Kuna has received the Tree City USA Award. A sign painted on a building wall on Main Street by a volunteer gives the overall picture of Kuna's spirit and accomplishments. It lists all of the volunteer groups that helped, on the leaves around the large tree, and the businesses that donated across the bottom of the sign. And, of course, they plant a tree on Arbor Day. Dorothy now works for the Idaho Department of Lands as a volunteer services coordinator. She says give her a call and she'll help you get your program started.
The Idaho State Library presents Designing Websites, an Emerging Technologies teleconference, featuring Dan Lester and Carol Oakes of the Albertson Library of Boise State University, with your moderator, Rand